There are defining moments in life that bring you face to face with the essence of who you truly are. When events intertwine, complexities escalate, and fate lets you down. When you find yourself caught in a storm you never prepared for, it is precisely in these moments that the difference becomes clear between those who crumble under the weight of circumstances, surrendering to the flow of events, and those who remain steadfast, not because of extraordinary physical strength or sheer luck, but because they possess the tools that grant them stability amidst life's raging storms. Life, my friend, is not just a random sequence of events. It is a constant test of your ability to adapt to its twists and turns. The irony is that most people walk into this test unprepared, lacking the skills that give them strength, relying on luck, depending on circumstances, clinging to the promises of others. And when they find themselves in dire situations, they are met with harsh truths. They don't know how to survive. But there is another way, a path for those who seek wisdom, who build themselves brick by brick, who prepare for every possibility so that they are not mere pawns in the game of events, but rather the captains of their own ships. If you are someone who wants to take charge of your life, instead of just reacting to whatever comes your way, then this message is for you. What I'm about to share with you isn't just a list of abstract skills. It is the very foundation upon which a life worth living is built. So listen closely, because the next few minutes might reshape the way you see the world around you. And if you find these ideas valuable, don't hesitate to engage and share them. Doing so might just help someone who needs them the most. Now, let's begin. Master your money. Don't let it master you. Have you ever wondered why some people, no matter how much they earn, constantly find themselves trapped in financial crises, while others, even with modest incomes, live with comfort and stability? The secret, my friend, isn't in how much money you make. It's in how you manage it. Money is like fire. It can be a powerful tool that gives you warmth and energy if used wisely. But if left unchecked, it can burn your life to the ground. The problem is that most people don't handle money with awareness. Instead, they get swept away by emotional spending, chasing fleeting moments of false happiness, buying things they don't need with money they don't have, just to impress people who don't even care about them. A Stoic doesn't see money as an end in itself, but he also doesn't neglect it. He understands that money means freedom, the ability to make choices rather than being forced into decisions out of desperation. The Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius wasn't against wealth, but he warned about letting money become your master instead of your servant, because the moment you desperately need money, you might be willing to compromise your principles and dignity just to get it. Financial management isn't just about saving. It's about knowing where to allocate your money, how to invest it, and how to make it work for you, rather than spending your entire life working for it. A true Stoic doesn't chase false luxuries or spend just to prove something to others. Instead, he asks himself, does this truly serve me? Does it add value to my life? If the answer isn't a clear yes, then he simply doesn't need it. So, don't let money control you. Be the one who sets the rules, who decides how to spend, how to invest, and how to sustain wealth. Because in the end, money isn't the goal. It's just a tool, one that should empower you to live life on your own terms, not on someone else's. Patience, the art of waiting without stopping. We live in an age of speed, a world that wants everything now instantly without waiting. Everyone craves overnight success, wealth without effort, learning a new skill in just a few days, and for their problems to disappear the moment they decide they should. But let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time something truly great was built overnight? Everything worthwhile in life requires patience, but the problem is that many people mistake patience for passive waiting, as if sitting still and hoping things improve is the way forward. That's not patience, that's surrender. The Stoics understood that patience isn't just about enduring time. It's about working in silence, putting in the effort, without constantly asking when the rewards will come. Marcus Aurelius put it clearly, do not rush the fruit before it ripens. Everything has its time, and every effort has its result. Success takes time. Becoming stronger takes time. Learning to master yourself and your emotions, perfecting a skill, building a life worth living, it all demands true patience, the kind that doesn't break at the first obstacle. The problem is that most people quit too soon. At the first setback, the first delay, the first time results don't meet their expectations. But have you ever heard of someone who became great by being impatient? Look at anything in nature. Everything grows gradually. The strong tree you see didn't become that way in a day or a week. It took years of deep roots and silent patience to stand firm against the winds. And you too, if you want to be resilient, unshakable, and capable of facing life, you must learn the art of patience. Not just patience with others, but patience with yourself. Don't expect to change overnight. Don't expect to reach wisdom in an instant. But if you keep going, if you persevere, if you learn to embrace the journey with all its challenges, you will get there. Not because you were lucky, but because you understood something most people don't. That great things only come to those who have the ability to wait without ever stopping their work. Learn critical thinking. Free your mind from invisible chains. Have you ever wondered how many false ideas you believe without realizing it? How many times have you made a decision simply because everyone around you said it was the right one? How often have you heard something and accepted it as truth just because it came from someone confident or a seemingly reliable source? My friend, the world is full of ideas, but not everything you hear is true. Not everything you read is fact, and not everything you're told is worth believing. The problem is that most people don't question the information presented to them. They simply absorb it, as if their minds are empty containers waiting to be filled with whatever is poured into them. But a Stoic thinks differently. Epictetus once said, "Just because everyone believes something is true doesn't mean it is." This one sentence alone can make you stronger than 89% of people because it teaches you a rare but powerful skill, thinking for yourself. To think means to pause before believing, to ask yourself, does this make sense? Is there real evidence? Is this idea based on facts or just emotion? Thinking means not getting swept away by flashy headlines, popular opinions, or the emotions that media and people constantly try to sell you. It means understanding that truth is not always the loudest voice. It's the one that requires effort to find. My friend, if you don't think for yourself, others will do it for you. And when that happens, you won't be living your life. You'll be living the life they want you to live. But the moment you start thinking critically, the moment you learn to question every idea, every belief, every piece of information, you will finally start to own yourself. Of course, this won't always make you popular because people don't like having their comfortable beliefs challenged. But the real question is, do you want to be liked or do you want to be free? And since you've made it this far, it means you're someone who seeks to understand life on a deeper level. You're here because you want to see things as they are, not just as others want you to see them. So keep asking questions because real power isn't in circumstances, but in how we choose to face life. Mastering your emotions. How to become the leader of yourself. Listen closely, because what I'm about to say might be one of the hardest lessons anyone can learn. At some point, you will find yourself angry, afraid, frustrated, or even so deeply sad that it feels like the whole world is collapsing around you. You will say things you regret later, make reckless decisions that lead to disaster, and lose things you desperately needed. And why? Because you let your emotions control you instead of you controlling them. My friend, a Stoic does not allow this to happen, not because he has no emotions, but because he understands that emotions are like fire. They can warm you or they can burn you. The difference lies in whether you know how to control them. One moment of recklessness can destroy a relationship that took years to build. Fear can paralyze you and stop you from making life-changing decisions. Sadness can drag you into a darkness with no way out. The average person thinks the solution is to suppress their emotions, to pretend they don't exist. But this only makes them stronger, building up inside until they explode at the worst possible moment. A Stoic, however, does the exact opposite. He doesn't resist his emotions. He observes them. When he feels anger, he doesn't scream, break things, or react impulsively. Instead, he pauses, breathes, and watches the anger as if it were something separate from him. He asks himself, why am I feeling this way? Is this really worth losing my composure over? Will this anger actually help me right now? And when he realizes it's just a temporary reaction, something that will fade in minutes or hours, he makes a choice not to let it take control. My friend, there is a huge difference between feeling something and letting it control you. A Stoic feels, but he is not ruled by feelings. He knows that self-mastery is not suppression, it's understanding. Not denial, it's awareness. Not weakness, its true power. Because when you become the master of yourself, you become the master of your life. So, the next time you feel anger, fear, or frustration, don't make a decision in the heat of the moment. Pause, breathe, watch your emotions the way a commander watches his soldiers, and then ask yourself, am I in control right now? Or am I just a puppet in the hands of my emotions? If you can do that, you're already stronger than most people. Learn to cook. Reclaim control over your food and your life. Have you ever thought about the relationship between humans and food? Not just in terms of hunger and satisfaction, but in terms of control over your habits, your health, and ultimately, your life. Food isn't just a biological need. It's a habit, a culture, and sometimes even an escape from emotions we don't want to face. Some people eat because they're bored. Some eat because they're sad. Some eat simply because the food is there. But very few people ask themselves this simple but powerful question: do I control my food, or does my food control me? My friend, a Stoic, sees food as fuel, not as an indulgence. But he also doesn't obsess over it or let it become a source of anxiety. He understands that the way he eats reflects the way he lives. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What we eat is not just nourishment for the body, but a reflection of our mind and soul." Food can either be a tool that gives you energy, clarity, and strength, or it can be a weapon that slowly weakens you, makes you sluggish, drains your health, and dulls your mind. Why should you learn to cook? Cooking isn't just a household skill. It's a step toward independence. When you rely on yourself to prepare your meals, you take back control over your body. You know what's in your food instead of eating just anything that's convenient. Your health. You break free from processed foods that drain your energy and weaken your body. Your finances. Cooking at home is far more cost-effective than relying on takeout and restaurants. Food and self-awareness. A Stoic doesn't fill his stomach with things that weaken his mind. He doesn't eat just because it's mealtime. Instead, he pauses and asks, will this food give me energy? Or is it just a momentary pleasure that will have long-term consequences? This isn't about deprivation. It's about understanding. It's about eating with awareness, not mindlessly consuming whatever is in front of you. Because the way you handle food reflects the way you handle life. So the real question is, are you in control? Or are you just consuming without thinking? Active listening, a skill that will change your life. Focus with me, because what I'm about to tell you might be one of the most important skills that can impact your life, not just in your relationships with others, but in how you understand the world around you. Everyone talks, everyone wants to be heard, but only a few truly know how to listen. In most conversations, people don't actually listen. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. Their minds are busy thinking about what they'll say next, how they'll respond, and how they'll prove their point. But a true Stoic doesn't think this way. They understand that listening isn't just about waiting for silence so they can start talking. It's an art, a skill that requires awareness, attention, and the ability to grasp what lies beneath the words. Listening is deeper than just hearing words. Seneca put it plainly, words may deceive, but silence sees everything. When you listen genuinely, you don't just notice what is being said, you notice how it's being said. The tone of voice, the hidden hesitations, the pauses before someone continues their sentence. These subtle details reveal more than the words themselves. But the problem is that most people believe intelligence is in speaking, not in listening. Power lies not just in what you say, but in what you understand. Many believe that a strong person is someone who can speak convincingly, but they forget that the strongest minds are the ones that know when to be silent. When you listen, you understand, and when you understand, your decisions become wiser because they're based on real knowledge, not assumptions. My friend, if you want to become a person who is more influential, wiser, better at understanding people, then don't rush to speak. Give others the space to reveal everything without even realizing it. Let them talk more, and you'll be amazed at the secrets you uncover, not just about them, but about life itself. The Stoic speaks only when it matters. A Stoic doesn't talk too much, but when they do, everyone listens. Why? Because they know when to stay silent and when to speak, not to ramble, not to add meaningless words, not to talk just for the sake of talking. Their words are like a blade, precise, sharp, and cutting straight to the point. Seneca made it clear, silence when needed is wisdom. Speaking, when needed, is a skill. Make your words count. Listen as if your life depends on it. Most people don't listen. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. They're thinking about their next words before the other person even finishes speaking. But if you learn to use silence as a tool, you'll see what others don't. You'll understand the meaning behind the words. You'll grasp not just what people say, but what they're trying to hide. Because power isn't just in what you say, it's also in what you understand. So from now on, speak only when there's something worth saying. Make your words rare, weighted, and impactful. And when you listen, listen as if your life depends on it, because sometimes it does. Learn to say no. There is one short word, just 2 letters, that, if you don't learn to say at the right time, will leave you trapped in obligations you never chose, stuck in situations you never wanted, and living a life dictated by others. That word is no. My friend, the world will never stop asking for your time, energy, and attention. People will demand your effort, your emotional energy, and even your peace of mind. Some will do it consciously, taking advantage of your inability to refuse. Others will do it unintentionally, not realizing they are draining you. But in the end, if you can't say no, you'll become a person who lives on the sidelines of their own life. If you don't define your life, others will define it for you. Seneca put it simply, if you don't decide how you want to live, others will decide for you. This is the trap many people fall into because they fear being disliked, fear disappointing others, fear being seen as selfish. But here's the real question. Which is worse, living on your own terms, even if some people reject you, or being accepted by everyone while losing yourself in the process? The Stoic knows when and how to say no. A Stoic doesn't refuse out of stubbornness, nor do they say yes just to please others. They think, they weigh the options, they decide with intention, because they know that every careless yes opens the door to endless chaos, and every well-placed no is a step toward clarity and control. Before you say yes, pause. Next time you feel tempted to say yes, just because you feel guilty, don't want to disappoint someone, stop, take a moment, ask yourself, does this serve me? Is this what I truly want? And if the answer is no, then say it without hesitation, not rudely, not aggressively, but with confidence. Because respecting your own boundaries is the first step toward earning respect from others. And don't worry, anyone who doesn't respect your limits never truly respected you in the first place. Resilience. Have you ever wondered why some people crumble at the first sign of trouble, while others walk through storms as if they were nothing more than a passing breeze? Why do some drown in sorrow and frustration at every failure, while others rise again and again as if nothing happened? The secret isn't luck. It's not intelligence. It's not even the circumstances. The secret is resilience. Life won't always be fair. You will face hard times. You will lose things you thought you couldn't live without. You will experience betrayal, failure, and disappointment. And sometimes it will feel like everything is against you. And in those moments, the true nature of a person is revealed. Some give up, complain, blame the world, and do nothing. Others endure, not because they don't feel pain, but because they know that pain is part of the game. That challenges are not stop signs. They are opportunities to grow. The obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, what stands in the way becomes the way. That is the essence of resilience. The problem is never the problem. The real issue is how you respond to it. Obstacles will not disappear, but you decide, will you stand still, powerless, or will you find a way through? Resilience doesn't mean you feel nothing. Some people think resilience means feeling no pain, no fear, no sadness, but the Stoic sees it differently. They know fear will come. They know frustration will try to take over, but they do not let those emotions dictate their actions because they understand that failure is not the end. It's just another step. Every time they endure, they become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Life won't be easy, but it will be less cruel. I won't lie to you. Learning resilience won't make life easy, but it will make it less cruel. Life won't give you everything you want, but it will give you something greater. The ability to stand up every time you fall, and that alone is enough to make you unstoppable. You've read these words, and maybe something inside you feels different. This isn't just motivation, it's a call to action, to take control of your life, to become stronger, steadier, and more aware. Life isn't easy, and it never will be, but you are not here to seek ease. You're here to build yourself through the difficulties. Master resilience, and you will master yourself. Master yourself, and you will master your life. And now, the only question left is, will you begin?